Lesson 4.9 Timelines. Our learning target for today is I can create a timeline by ordering events on a timeline. Let's learn what a timeline is. Boys and girls, before we begin our work with timelines, we need to know what a timeline is. So a timeline helps people keep track of important events. A timeline is like a number line on which the numbers indicate time periods such as years, hours, months, or days. If we take a look at this timeline that I have on our screen here, this timeline shows the hours of a day. It covers 24 hours. Look, we have divided this timeline into AM, so it begins at midnight, and then PM, which starts here at noon and goes till late into the night. So our timeline here that we have, if we look at it and we think about important events in a day. If we look at our day, our first item on our timeline is right here, this bell. It's the time that school starts. At about 8:30, which right here we're between the 8 and the 9, we come to school on a typical day. At 12 o'clock, that's the time that we go to lunch. And so we've marked that with a little sandwich here. Another time of the day that's important is between the 3 and the 4, and that's when school ends. And I'm just going to draw a little person here, and that just shows, maybe I'll just show that they're kind of waving and put their little backpack on them. So school ends at 3:40. School ends. And then another time is like maybe right around 8 o'clock that's important, is we go to sleep. So zzz, we go to sleep and we all go to bed and get a good night's sleep. So boys and girls, if you take a look at this timeline, it's divided into hours. Goes 12, 1, 2. So this timeline here is one that has hours. And then we've talked about important events that happen during the day. So again, looking at this, we have a timeline that shows us what our day looks like. Let's look at another kind of timeline. Boys and girls, now we're going to practice making a timeline of our own. You'll need to get out your math journal and open to page 73. Do this now. So if we take a look at this timeline in our math journal, we notice that it's not set up by hours like the one that we just looked at. This timeline is set up using months. So this says August 1st, then the next month is September 1st, the next month is October 1st, the next month is November 1st, and the last month is December 1st. Our directions say, think about these times of the year. Draw pictures of things that happened during each of these months. I've already done a little bit of the work for you. I've thought about some things that have happened here in these months so that we can just organize them and put them on our timeline so that we're keeping track of important events. So here we have a picture of a schoolroom and some children learning. Here we have a picture of a candle, which would mean like our long ago day where we did making candles. This picture here is some sunscreen and sunglasses, reminding us of summer vacation. And this picture here, this event was when we took our field trip to the Milwaukee Public Domes. So boys and girls, if we look and think back to August, which one of these events did we do in August? That's right. At this time in August, it was still summer vacation. So we have this picture here, and I'm going to just put it right here. And I'm also going to use a pencil, and I'm going to draw an arrow and put that in August, it was still summer vacation. So now we take a look at the next month, which is September. Think about what we were doing in September. Which one of these pictures would we put in the month of September, which goes from here to here? That's right. In September, we started school. And we started school kind of at the beginning of the month, so I'm going to put my picture right here, and then I'm going to draw an arrow to that part of the timeline. Our next month says October 1st. So I'm looking at our last remaining pictures here, and as I think about October, that's when we went on our field trip to the domes. So I'm going to take our picture of our domes, and we did that toward the end of the month. So I'm going to put my picture right here. And again, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw an arrow from the domes up to the timeline. And then lastly, in November, right before we left for our break, we did candle making. And that was toward the end of the month, so I'm going to put the candle kind of toward the end of the month and draw an arrow up to our timeline. So boys and girls, now when we look at our timeline, we've organized and kept track of important events that have happened since August 1st. And we have them in order of time. First we had summer vacation, then school starting, then our field trip to the domes, and lastly we had our long ago day where we made candles. Boys and girls, right now I'm going to hand out pictures of these events. Your job will be to cut them out and to glue them on and draw arrows just like I did so that you create your own calendar, your own timeline in your math journal.